Ever wondered why mind plays games with you? Those insecurities, fear, regret, and desires are running in your mind like a television, and the Joker has the remote to it. How do we then take charge of our life? How do we regain control? First, let's understand the Joker, our ego, to comprehend our true self. The ego, known as ahamkara, is our individual identity that originates from our mind. Yet this identity creates an illusion, a deceptive divide between ourselves and the world around us. For instance, when you see yourself as separate from your family, friends, and colleagues, that's your ego creating a sitcom. This video aims to guide you through the profound teachings of timeless wisdom, teachings that shed light on the puzzle of the ego and provide insights into how we can break free from its illusory control. By the end of this video, you will have the tools to seize control of your life's remote from the ego's grasp. Subscribe. Don't miss out on future videos that will empower and inspire you. The ego is a master illusionist, creating a sense of separation and binding us to the cycle of birth and death. It's a clever trickster, spinning tales of individuality and distinction that lead us to perceive a world of duality. This perceived duality is the root of all suffering. It's a world of you and I, us and them, a world fragmented by the ego's illusion. Imagine a room filled with mirrors, each reflecting a different image of you. The ego is like those mirrors, creating a multitude of reflections, each seeming separate, but in reality, all being manifestations of the same self. This illusion is called samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This cycle isn't just about physical birth and death, but also the constant birth and death of our desires, fears, and attachments. And who's at the wheel of this merry-go-round? The ego, of course. The ego's relentless pursuit of these transient experiences blinds us with a veil of ignorance known as avidya. It obscures our true nature, our divine essence, the eternal self that lies beyond the ego's grasp. So, where does this leave us? Shackled by the ego, we remain trapped in samsara, bound by the chains of desire and fear. We dance to the ego's tune, unaware that we're dancing in circles. Thus, the ego stands as an obstacle on our path to self-realization and liberation. What then is a path that leads beyond the ego, beyond illusion, to the realization of our true self? Timeless wisdom teaches that the ultimate goal of life is to transcend the ego and realize our true self. This might sound a bit abstract, so let's break it down. The ego, or ahamkara, is our sense of I, our personal identity. It's like a mask we wear, hiding our true face. The mask or roles we play in life as a son, brother, husband, father, friend, manager. The ego gives rise to the illusion of separation, making us believe we are distinct from the world around us. It is like a soap bubble. Once the bubble pops, it's just air. We are all interconnected, all part of the same cosmic fabric. Our true self is referred to as Atman, the eternal soul, the essence of who we are. Atman is not separate from the world, but intimately connected to it. It is identical to the ultimate reality, or Brahman. Imagine a wave in the ocean. The wave might think it's separate, but it's actually part of the ocean. Similarly, we might think we're separate beings, but we're actually part of the same cosmic ocean. Brahman. The process of transcending the ego involves dissolving this illusion of separation, this false identity. It's like peeling off the layers of an onion until only the core remains. Watch this video about peeling those layers of identity. This core, this essence, is our true self, our Atman. And when we realize this, we attain moksha, or liberation. Moksha is freedom from the cycle of birth and death, freedom from suffering, freedom from the confines of the ego. Self-realization, realizing our true self beyond the ego, is a cornerstone of timeless wisdom. It's the ultimate goal, the highest achievement. But it's not about becoming something else or going somewhere else. It's about recognizing what we already are, right here and right now. It's about waking up from the dream of separation and embracing the reality of unity. Transcending the ego is not an act of annihilation, but a realization of our true identity. It's like coming home after a long journey. You were always home, but you didn't realize it. And when you do, there's a sense of peace, a sense of joy, a sense of liberation. That is the promise of timeless wisdom, the promise of transcending the ego. How then can we transcend the ego and experience the unity of all existence? There are several practices that provide the means to this end. One of the key practices is self-inquiry, where we constantly question the nature of our identity. Who am I beyond the labels, roles, and expectations? Who am I apart from my thoughts, emotions, and physical form? This relentless questioning gradually peels away the layers of the ego, revealing the true self beneath. Meditation is another powerful tool in this journey. Through meditation, we learn to quiet the mind and observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. As we become more adept at this practice, we begin to see that our thoughts and emotions are transient, coming and going like waves on an ocean. We realize that we are not these fleeting phenomena, but the unchanging consciousness that witnesses them. This realization is a significant step towards transcending the ego. Devotion, too, has a crucial role in this process. When we surrender ourselves to a higher power, we let go of our individual identity and merge with the divine. This act of surrender helps to dissolve the ego, fostering a sense of oneness with the universe. And yet these practices are not about forcefully eliminating the ego. Rather, they help us to see through its illusory nature. The ego, like a rainbow, appears real and distinct, but when we approach it, we find there's nothing substantial there. It's a play of light and water droplets, a mere illusion. Similarly, the ego appears solid and separate, but upon closer observation, we find it's a construct of thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions, devoid of any inherent reality. As we engage in these practices, we gradually shift our identity from the ego to the true self. We stop perceiving ourselves as separate individuals and start experiencing ourselves as part of the grand tapestry of existence. We realize that we are not just drops in the ocean, but the ocean itself. These practices serve as a guide, leading us towards the realization of our true nature. Many enlightened beings have walked this path before us, experiencing profound shifts in their consciousness. They speak of a deep and abiding peace, an overwhelming sense of unity, and an indescribable freedom from the constraints of suffering. These personal narratives of ego transcendence are as varied as the individuals who share them, and yet they all echo a common theme: liberation. Their stories serve as a testament to the liberating power of transcending the ego. Watch these videos to see Joker's tools to bind us in the merry-go-round. If you are still here, I invite you to take a moment to share your thoughts and reflections in the comments. Your insights and experiences are invaluable, and by sharing them, you not only deepen your own understanding, but also inspire and uplift others on their journey. Your support means the world to me. Subscribe to watch the unique featured content for subscribers. Follow us on Instagram for doses of motivation, insights, and behind-the-scenes content. Tap the subscribe button now, and let's continue this empowering journey together.